guys, this is Cooking with Connie. Welcome this week to our episode, and if you stick with me through this video, you're going to learn how to make this delicious chef-approved lasagna. Lots of veggies, Italian seasonings. You can see it's layered like a regular lasagna, and it is yummy. So you don't want to miss this week's episode. Watch it to the end, and we'll show you how to do this. Okay guys, we're back, and we're going to assemble our lasagna. So what I like to do with my lasagna, because we're going to be layering, is get everything into bowls so that as I go to layer, I'll be ready for it. So I have got about a pound of hamburger here that I have already browned. Now you could use chicken, you could use turkey, whatever. I chopped up about a half an onion in there, and I put a little garlic while I was browning it. So that's going to go in one bowl. And then we're going to put our spaghetti sauce, or marinara sauce, in with this to mix this all together. Now, I like the Simply Nature marinara sauce from Aldi's. It doesn't have sugars, it doesn't have oil, so it is shape compliant. And it's not very expensive. It's only a couple bucks, so it's definitely budget friendly to do this recipe with. All right, so that's going to be in that bowl right there. Now you could add more garlic to it. You could season it however you want. But I'm going to add my garlic and some Italian seasoning to my cottage cheese bowl. So I've got 2 cups of cottage cheese that I've whipped in the NutriBullet. And what we're going to do is kind of blend some things that are approved by Shape together for our cheese layer. So remember, with the cottage cheese, you can have up to 14 ounces of that a day. We don't have to count that as part of our protein. So this is going to make this to where you're not going to have a lot of extra protein that you're going to be using as far as when you're eating it. So it will be easy to stay within probably a 4-ounce servings of protein with this lasagna recipe that we're doing. All right, so we got it nice and whipped. So you can see it kind of has a really creamy consistency here. So we'll pour this in the bowl. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add nutritional yeast. And if you haven't used nutritional yeast, they use this a lot in the recipes to kind of substitute for Parmesan cheese because it has kind of a cheesy flavor. So what I'm going to do is just kind of mix this in here to give us a little bit different flavor. And then we're going to add some Manchego cheese in there to give us a different texture. And then when you put all that together, you get a really nice layer, okay? So we're going to put about half a cup of our nutritional yeast in it. And you can see that's kind of a golden-y color, so it changes your color a little bit, but the consistency is pretty fine. All right, and this is some grated Manchego cheese. I've already grated it up. Manchego, if you've not used it before, this is sheep cheese. And it works really good if you're looking for something you could put on your pizzas. So I'll put about a cup of that in there. Then we're going to put a little bit of our Italian zest seasonings from Flavor Gods in here. And we're going to put a little bit of garlic. Ooh, that's a pretty big hunk of garlic, but you know what? We think that more garlic is better. So this will give you a really nice Italian cheese combination. And again, like I said, we're going to just layer this stuff in this pan. So this is our cheese mixture. Now, I always like to start with the sauce on the bottom. This is just a preference of mine. But I think it kind of helps so that if you put the noodles on the bottom, I think you're more likely to kind of get them burnt. So get you a good serving of sauce to put on the bottom of the pan. Spread it out. All right, and the next thing we're going to use is our Hearts of Palm. Now this is the Natural Heaven Hearts of Palm lasagna. So this is just Hearts of Palm. There's nothing else in this, and it comes in little sheets that you can just take out and place in here just like you would your lasagna noodles. Okay. So we're going to put those down and cover the whole bottom. And really, your lasagna noodles are just there to really kind of separate your layers somewhat. So these definitely do the job. I think I got that one empty. All right. I made this size yesterday, and I didn't even use a whole package of lasagna noodles when I did it. So I think I had a couple of layers of lasagna noodles in there. Well, I'm going to struggle with opening the package. We'll be back in just a second. All right, so we got our lasagna noodles. We're putting those down. I just like to make sure that the whole area has some lasagna noodles on it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm adding some spinach to this. And again, spinach is just another way to add some more nutritional value to what you're doing here. So I'm just using baby spinach leaves, and I'm going to put a layer of that down. So we'll just kind of spread them out on top of that. All right, and then we're going to put a layer of our cheese down. Just kind of spread it out. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Try to get it evenly coated. Kind of. All right, and then we'll start over with another layer of our sauce. Now, what I normally do with this is I like to start with the sauce and finish with the sauce, and that way I can put the cheese on at the very end, my top layer of cheese that I'm going to put on this. All right, so then we'll put another layer of our noodles. All right, and we'll just do this, and like I said, I'll do the noodles, I'll do the spinach, I'll do the cheese, and then I'll put the rest of this sauce on top, and then we're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees to bake. And then when it gets kind of bubbly, then we'll take it out and we'll sprinkle with a little, just lightly sprinkle with the manchego cheese. And let that brown nice. If you want a really crispy manchego cheese, you could use the broiler. That'll give you more of a browning effect on top of it. And then let it sit for just a little bit, and then you are going to have a delicious lasagna for dinner tonight that is totally on your plan if you're on the Shape Reclaim plan. So we will be back in a little bit and finish our video. Okay guys, here's our finished product. This beautiful lasagna came out. As you can see, I put my manchego cheese and then I sprinkled a little bit of my Italian zest flavor gods on top of it. The thing about this is how you're going to add flavor to it without adding the bad stuff to it. These are great seasonings. They don't have the sugar, they don't have the added stuff to it. So this week, this is our Shape Approved lasagna. So for those of you who are on the Shape Reclaim program, this would be a great comfort food. Honestly, I haven't had lasagna forever, but this is really good stuff. So check out Cooking with Connie for all your gluten-free, sugar-free cooking needs. And remember, I tell you when it's Shape Approved, so you'll know which recipes are okay for you guys that are doing the program. So we'll see you soon. And remember this week, make some good choices out there.